welcome back, Pokemon trainers. This is your friendly neighborhood Bullados, and today we are at the, what is this? Forbidden Light League Cup at, Level Up Games in South St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the top 4 match. Caleb Patton is on your right. Caleb Patton's on the left. Emery Taylor is on the right. Emery's coming into this match playing a Trevenant Zoroark deck that is basically designed to beat Buzzwole. It'll also beat a bunch of other things, but it wants to beat Buzzwole as much as possible. Caleb is coming in with a Zoroark Lycanroc deck, which has been pretty standard most of this season. Looks like Emery's starting off with Bridget filled up his bench. Caleb starts with an Ultra Ball, probably getting a Lele, trying to get a Bridget, get 3 basic Pokemon onto his bench. And I saw him pull basically all of his basics up there. Some more Zoroas and a Rockruff. I cannot see what's going on Emery's side of the field. I'm sorry. I do see that he has a Phantom Banksiv and at least one Zorua benched. It looks like there's another Zorua on the far side of his bench. And I see one Phantom that his hand moved over. There might be a second one there. Caleb drops a Strong Energy and a Parallel City, one of those weird stadiums that have 2 effects depending on which way it's going, forcing Emery to drop down to 3 benched Pokemon. And that ended Caleb's turn. Emery started by using an Enhanced Hammer to get rid of the Strong Energy attached to Rockruff. It looks like he's trying to play an Ultra Ball. He'll probably want to go in and get his own Zoroark to start cycling cards through his deck. I think the card that he got rid of was a Phantom from the Parallel City. And then that's a Mallow that he played, lets him put 2 cards from his deck on top of his deck. So he searches his deck for 2 cards, sets them off to the side, and shuffles his deck afterwards. If I were him, I'd be looking for a double colorless and a Float Stone, because that'll get him a quick knockout using his bench Zoroark. I did not see the 2 cards that he got, unfortunately, but I'm going to assume that a double colorless was in there. Floatstone, double colorless, 1 knocked out Zorua. Move over to Caleb's turn, draws his card to start his turn. He did send up a Zorua to replace the one that got knocked out. He's got another Strong Energy that he's attaching, and he'll play an End. Both players shuffle their hand into their decks, draw a number of cards equal to their prize cards. Caleb just needed to draw cards there. He's going to want to search for a Lycanroc, and he wants to bring up the Phantom, because it's going to have a hard time retreating. At least a Phantom that doesn't have a Float Stone on it. So Caleb gets to draw 6, Emery gets 5. I see a Sycamore in Emery's hand. I can't really see. There's a Zoroark, which is going to get immediately evolved. There's probably one other thing that he wants to play. There's a trade, getting rid of a Bridget, drawing 2 cards. There's another Rockruff going to his bench. That's the corner one. That's an interesting one. It has less HP, but its first attack wins games. I've seen that corner. It traps Pokemon active. That Pokemon cannot retreat. So he ended his turn, and now Emery has just used a trade. I saw him evolve a Trevenant, and I see a trainer card in his hand. I think that's a Timer Ball. this deck. But he's just going to trade it away. And that looks like another Trevenant. I don't think that Emery has attached an energy this turn. He probably doesn't want to attach anything to the Trevenant yet. At some point, those Trevs are going to be very useful to him, but not now. He needs multiple energies attached to them for them to be useful. So there's a unit energy that got attached to the Trevenant on the far side. Or maybe he didn't attach that energy. Still debating how he wants to play this. He might be trying to set up Trev Break. There's the other Trev, the one that has Poltergeist, does 30 damage for each trainer card in the opponent's hand. And there comes an end. I believe he's already used both of his trades for this turn. So once again, N shuffles into your deck. Shuffles your hand into your deck, requires both players to do so, and draw a number of cards equal to your number of prize cards. Caleb has 6 prizes, Emery has 5, so they're going to be drawing 6 and 5 cards respectively. Shuffle their deck, offer them to their opponents a cut. Their opponent gets the opportunity to shuffle your deck. Now they will draw out their new hands. I do see a unit energy, but he's already attached his energy for the turn. There's a puzzle of time that he's going to use to rearrange the top 3 cards of his deck. And now he knows what 3 cards he's going to get. That's useful information. I'm not sure if I would have played the puzzles there. I might have tried to hold on to those puzzles for later in the game. So there's Zoroark using Riotous Beating, does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. So in this case it would do 80 damage from Emery onto Caleb. Caleb starts his turn. He still has that Zoroark active. On his bench is 2 Rockruffs, a Zorua, and a Tapu Lele GX. Mallow comes out, lets him search for 2 cards from his deck, put them on top of his deck. So he wants to search for 2 things that will help him immediately. And it looks like he's going to get a Zoroark and a double colorless energy. He's going to get to draw those basically immediately, because Zoroark lets you draw, discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. I see an Enhanced Hammer in his hand. He's going to want to hold on to that. Oh, that was a Guzma he traded away. There's the other Zoroark. I know that he has a double colorless in his hand. He might want to trade before he does that, but here's a Field Blower. He's just going to trade that Field Blower away to draw 2 more cards. There's the Latios, and that's a card that I have not yet seen played in this tournament. I'm not even sure what it does. It's not the Supersonic Flight one. Is that Breakthrough? Is that Latios? Shining Legends 41, yeah. Breakthrough, first attack, double colorless, does 30 damage to the active and 30 damage to a bench. Not sure why he would want to have that out, though. He can't use the second attack. It's only dealing 30-30. But he attached and did some damage. There's Emery's first trade. And out comes a Choice Band. Does plus 30 to all Pokemon GX when you to the active Pokemon GX when you attack. And that was a Cynthia he just played. Shuffles his hand into his deck and draws 6 new cards. I can't see what's on Emery's side of the field, I can't really speculate as to what he would want to draw from this. I do say that he needs... well, he already got rid of the stadium. There's an Ultra Ball discarding... he's thinking about discarding it, but he might have some other things he wants to discard. Discarding a Floatstone and an N. Just wants to get another basic Pokemon, I guess. Probably a Zorua would be his best bet there. See 2 puzzles at a time at the bottom of his deck. That he doesn't want to have that way. There might not be any more basics left in his deck. There's a Mewtwo coming out. Its first attack does 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each energy on the defending Pokemon. And there comes Riotous Beating, does 130, I believe, for the knockouts. Lycanroc comes forward. And he's not used his GX attack yet, so that Lycanroc will do 1 of damage. Dangerous Rogue does 50 damage for each opponent's benched Pokemon. That is an easy knockout on the Zoroark. So Caleb just needs to find 1 more energy to attach in order to use that attack. He already used his first trade for the turn. It's got a double puzzle, which means that he gets 2 cards out of his discard pile. When you play 2 of those puzzle at times together, you get 2 cards out of your discard. And he's probably looking for strong energy and just something else. Why he would get an Ultra Ball there, I don't understand. He needs another energy for the Lycanroc. Is he getting double colorless? He doesn't want to use his GX attack right now. It's going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Cynthia and an N, it looks like. He might want to get another... he's probably digging for another basic Pokemon. Maybe another Zorua, but I think he's already played all of them that are in his deck. There's a Tapu Lele that comes down. I don't think he's going to bench it right now, though. I don't think there's any supporters that he wants to search for. He does want to attach a double colorless to the active. And with the strong energy, that would hit for 130 damage, doubles to 260, knocks out the Zoroark. Up comes Trevenant. It breaks. There's a Field Blower to get rid of the Stadium, and Sycamore draws a new hand. Discard his hand, draws something new. I see a double puzzle in his hand. He might be thinking about using that to get some more Pokemon out of his discard pile, or just some trainers and energies. In general, special energies are very difficult to get out once they're gone. There's the puzzle, gets him back a Grass Phantom, it looks like, and he does have to take 1 more card out of his discard. For me, I'd be taking a double colorless, but he might be choosing, nope, chooses an Enhanced Hammer. Enhanced Hammer is a trainer card, an item card, that you get rid of 1 of your opponent's special energies. There's Trevenant. Enhanced Hammer discards the active, free retreats the active Trevenant, and Trevenant Poltergeist does 30 damage for each trainer card you find in your opponent's hand, but this time it does nothing. That's normally a very, very powerful attack to use against the Lycanroc. It will usually get that Lycanroc very close to a knockout. But in this case, since there are no trainers in there, Trev does no damage, even with the choice band attached. Caleb takes his turn. Drops Tapu Lele to search for Professor Sycamore, and that Sycamore will, as usual, discard his hand. Draw 7 cards off of that. He might have something else he wants to play, but he still needs a fighting energy to get that Lycanroc going. So he plays the Sycamore, draws a new hand of 7. I see a double colorless in there, but that's not going to help him much right now. There's the fighting energy. It's not going to knock out the Trev. There it comes, and he gets the Claw Slash for 110 at this point. That Trevenant is not resistant, but he needs to do more than 110. Unfortunately for Caleb, Emery only has 2 Pokemon on his bench, so there's not enough there to get a knockout. Caleb drops an Ultra Ball, discarding a Rescue Stretcher and a Choice Band to get Lycanroc. Lycanroc's ability, when it evolves, forces your opponent to switch, and he uses Claw Slash, which does 220 damage for the knockout. Emery sends up his benched Trev Break. This is still a very close game. It could go either way. Emery last time unfortunately for him, guessed wrong on how much his opponent had in his hand. He's going to use Tapu Lele, search out a Cynthia. But he's not going to play it yet. He wants to see what else is in his deck that he could get. And he's just going to play the Cynthia, shuffles his hand into a deck, draws a new hand of 7. I can't see how many cards are in Caleb's hand, unfortunately. But I don't know if he's thinking about using... Where is it? I don't know if he's thinking about using Energy Press to deal 100 damage, or if he's thinking about using... It looks like Emery just scooped game 1 because he knew Caleb was going to get that last knockout. What is that? Guardians Rising Trev would not do enough damage in that sense, and Breakpoint also would only do 100. Like I said before, this deck is uniquely designed to beat Buzzwole. And the more Buzzwole you see in a tournament, the easier this deck will have it in a tournament. Caleb takes game 1, so we go into game 2, and Emery gets to choose who goes first. We're about 19 minutes into this round, so there's about another 30 minutes left. So Emery still has plenty of time to come back, but he'll need to play a little faster than he was in the previous game. His hands must be bugging him badly because he keeps stretching them out and stuff. Alright, they'll start a new game, draw opening hand of 7, find a basic Pokemon in there, put one of them active, and as many as they have, or that they want onto their bench. Looks like I'm just found one, and Caleb also found one. Emery's going to go first, and we now hit game 2. So Caleb starts with Rockruff active, the corner Rockruff benched, and the Zoroark benched. So Emery starts off, drops Tapu Lele, Wonder Tags for Bridgette, searches his deck for 3 basic Pokemon. It looks like he might have taken a Zoroark and 2 Phantoms. There might be something else in his hand that he wants to use. It just attaches an energy to, I think that was the Zoroark that he attached to, and just passes the turn. You can't attack on your first turn, so doing anything more than that would just be weird. There's Ultra Ball. Caleb discards 2 cards from his hand and searches his deck for any one Pokemon that he likes. He's going to search Tapu Lele, get a Sycamore. He might have something else in his hand that he wants to use, but I doubt it. Normally when you see a Sycamore come out like that, it will be played pretty much immediately. He might decide to attach an energy, might attach a strong energy to the active Rockruff, but I very much doubt that's going to happen. For one thing, if he had it, he would have already played it. For the other thing, I just don't think that that would be a particularly useful play right there. So that Sycamore is going into his hand after he shuffles up. I don't think there's anything. There's a Floatstone to the active Rockruff. Parallel City forces Emery to drop down to 3 Pokemon, and he just discards a Tapu Lele. That's what most people would do in that situation. Caleb plays the Sycamore, draws a new hand of 7. I know I saw an energy in there, so it's going to attach a regular fighting energy. I don't think that's enough for Rockruff to do anything at this point. Yep, that Rockruff needs to attack 2 energy in order to use its attack, so he just free retreats into Tapu Lele and ends his turn. Free retreat is due to that Floatstone that's attached. Emery starts, draws his card. I see an Ultra Ball that he's thinking about playing, and he's going to use that to get a Zoroark, which he plays onto one of his benched Zoroarks. He's going to attach a double to it, and then Guzma, the Rockruff. He still has his trait that he hasn't used yet. He's going to not trade. He's going to play a single puzzle to reorder the top 3 cards of his deck, and then use Riotous Meeting to knock out the Rockruff. Riotous Meeting, as we know at this point, does 20 damage times the number of Pokemon you have in play. We move over to Caleb's turn. Emery is now up 1 prize, but it's still very early, and was up 1 prize in the last game too. It's going to evolve and bring up a benched unevolved Zoroark. Double puzzle. Double colorless would be my assumption. Unless he has a Floatstone, he's going to get an Evo Soda and a Fighting Energy. He needs a double colorless energy, though. The Evo Soda will let him search his deck for an evolution card and evolve it from one of his Pokemon. Out comes Zoroark. Tapu Lele lets him search his deck to find a supporter card, and he finds a Cynthia, which will shuffle his hand into his deck and draw a new hand of 6. Attaches to Lycanroc before he does that. I'm surprised he attached to Lycanroc. I thought he would want to dig for a double colorless to have his Zoroark knock out the Emery's Zoroark. It would do 80 damage at this point. Maybe he just doesn't care about that 1 prize at all. Figures that he'll make it up later in the match. So Caleb takes his 6 cards, takes a look through them. He might have wanted that. I don't think I saw a double colorless in there, but here's another Ultra Ball. It's gonna discard 2 cards from his hand to search his deck for a Pokemon, and I see another Ultra Ball that he might want to discard, and is that a Choice Band that he discarded as well, I think? Searches his deck for a Zoroark. I don't think he's used his trade at this point yet, but it might have just passed the turn. So there's a Zoroark and an N. There's a Zoroark and an N, which Emery set up. I don't think he set up the Zoroark. I think he set up the N. But again, both players shuffle and get new hands. Emery will get 5 cards. Caleb gets 6. Emery's looking for a double colorless and Trev material and Choice Bands. He's looking for a lot of things right now, and he just needs cards. He's not looking for any one thing in particular. So he has his hand of 5. I saw Unit Energy in there. I also see a Field Blower. So there's Emery's first trade. There's his second trade, and he draws 4 cards at the cost of discarding 2. I do see a Enhanced Hammer in his hand. I also saw a Field Blower. Gets rid of the Parallel City Floatstone on the active Zoroark. Benches what looked like a Trevenant, Phantom, sorry. And we know he's gonna retreat. Looks like he retreats into the other Zoroark, and that'll hit for 100 damage off of Riotous Beating. Is there any other cards that Emery might want to play in this game, in this turn? He attaches a Unit Energy to his Trevenant, and he'll use Riotous Beating to do 100 damage to the opposing Zoroark. Caleb's turn now, draws his cards to start his turn, trading away a Strong Energy. That is unexpected. There comes another Zoroark, and he has a second trade, which he's going to use to get rid of... I don't even know what that is. Might be a Kukui, I guess, but whatever it is, it's very shiny. Strong Energy attached to the benched Lycanroc, and he might Guzma his way out of that. Field Blower gets rid of the Floatstone. He's going to drop a Band onto the bench. Guzma the the other Zoroark. He's going to use his GX attack. It does 50 damage times the amount of Emery's bench Pokemon, and that'll deal like 400 damage for the knockout. I just heard Caleb say that he has 5 cards in hand, and Caleb is leading by the count of 4 prize cards to 5. First trade from Emery, and I think he only has 1 trade right now. He's got an Ultra Ball, for which he will use for, I think that's a Zoroark that he just evolved. But again, I can't tell. It is so shiny and glossy on that side of the table. So Emery played Cynthia. Gets to draw 6 cards. I see an N in his hand, and I also see a double colorless. Enhanced Hammer gets rid of the Strong Energy on Caleb's X Pokemon. Phantom takes a double, it looks like. And I know that there's another double colorless in play. And Trevenant uses Poltergeist, does 60 damage, but it should do more than that, shouldn't it? It should do 120 to the Lycanroc, because Lycanroc's weak against grass. There's a couple of trades. There's a Lycanroc Lycanroc comes down, uses its ability Bloodthirsty Eyes to bring up Zoroark, and then his active Lycanroc he takes a double colorless energy and Claw Slashes for a lot of damage against the Zoroark. And, okay, Emery Drop attaches to what looks like a Phantom. And then Emery uses Poltergeist for the knockout for 180 damage. And Caleb sends up his Zoroark. Looks like Caleb just used a Bridget to get one Zoroark. I'm not sure if he used an Ultra Ball or Bridget, but there's a double colorless energy to Zoroark, and he's going to use it to knock out the Trevenant. Emery pushes up his other Phantom with a Floatstone attached, and I don't think he has any outs at this point. I don't think he has any way to one-shot that Zoroark, and he needs to one-shot it to make sure that Caleb cannot one-shot his Trevenants, which only have 110 or 120 HP. So there comes an Ultra Ball. Discarded 2 cards from his hand, and I know he got a basic. I just couldn't see what he got off of it. Again, it's asking his opponent how many cards are in his hand, and there's at least 10. Oh, he got a Tapu Lele to get a Sycamore. He needs to get the Guardian's Rising Trevenant back out, but I don't think he has enough juice to get it back out of the discard. He only runs one of those Trevs. Looks like he attaches to his benched Zoroark and uses that for 7. He evolves and attaches, and I think he just realizes that the game is over. So Caleb takes this match by a score of 2-0. Caleb takes his games 2-0 and moves on to the finals of this Forbidden Light League Cup at Level Up Games in South St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time.